Well, I'm getting some results coming back so far. We can get all those leaves off, and so far the coir seems to be better than the peat. Both growing the tomatoes. Tomato growing quite well in the black coir on top of the toilet paper. This one here. Also I put some liverworts in all the pots too, so seem to like iron apparently, but anyway. Not so plussed on the ground bark chip, but it's early days yet. But having said that, I'll set up this somewhat of a might think this is a bit of a dumb experiment, but considering we have two groups of fungi, we have the white rot fungi and we have the brown rot fungi. The brown rot fungi eat the white wood, leaving the lignin. That's why they're called brown, I believe. And the brown rot fungi eat the white heartwood cellulose. No, eat the brown, leaving the white heartwood cellulose alone. I think I've got that right. It's very confusing. It's a bit like flammable and inflammable. You can see why kids got schooled in the old days. It would be better to just talk about one and say the other is the opposite sort of thing, but anyway, look it up. So I packed this one with, since coir in those experiments seem to be the better one, before I go to a full 10 litre bucket sort of thing, I thought I'd do this experiment to find out whether that part of the trick is you've got to have both groups of fungi going at the same time basically, and so you have the brown rot fungi attacking the white wood, leaving the brown lignin behind sort of thing. So these will go in from the outside, and at the same time we've got some sort of diffusion here going through the white wood. We might be able to pick something up. So what I'm thinking of doing, it's very simple, I know, just going to scatter some seeds across here. So it's going to go across the white, across some of the white that has the brown in it, across the coir, and see if we get any germination. We may actually get a gradient of germination. We might get good germination here and it peters off out, or we might only get good germination in a ring or something. None there, none here, but somewhere around here sort of thing. I don't know. But then I might do this again with peat as well, and we might get a surprise. Because remember I did those experiments with the buckets where I put newspaper cellulose and various things in cylinders with just sand in the centre, and lo and behold we got a response, but it was a very long time. It took about 3 months, I think it was. And suddenly we got this amazing growth coming up for about 3 months on. So you look those up, they're on the channel. Yeah, from about 2017 I think it was, but anyway. So I thought try this very simple experiment, and we can also do it again for peat, and we can also do it again for other things. But I just want to see, because remember back in the 90s they're all going on about saying coir was better than peat, blah blah blah, and it took us about 20 years I think to really come to the conclusion that we didn't think it was. But then again, maybe we're wrong. Maybe coir is better than peat, but you got to know what you're doing and you got to set it up correctly. So instead of filling up a whole bucket of newspaper, toilet paper cellulose in the bottom, and then just capping it with some coir or capping it with some peat, maybe it will be easier just to grow your plants like this. Because I don't know if you remember this, but Donnie's best mix for growing capes was a 1-1-1 mixture of sand, sphagnum and peat. Of course, back then we were using Canadian TM brand peat in the white blue bales sort of thing, the Tea Hatchery, or I think it was called something like that off the top of my head from memory. and he was using K140 sand, so it's 140 micron sand, very fine sand, and so if that was acting a bit like perlite, I don't know, because I think perlite just seems to act like very fine sand or something. So I don't know how it really works. Now, so that was it, basically the three ingredients. So we've got the sphagnum, I suppose, or somewhat of a white wood that turns into a brown wood, which we don't think really is a brown wood, which would be the peat, because we've got coir in this case, and it's all very fine, of course, because it's it's just very thin layers of I don't know. Anyway. So you might get some aeration coming in here, so it's not totally saturated. So it's just a crazy experiment. I thought I'd give it a go because, as I said, we're getting some results from here telling us that coir might be better than peat, or initially anyway. I don't know if you can see this, but down there, if you look at the base there, they're all coloured up, you see. So on that plant there, so, and yeah, so we'll see how we go. But so far, coir seems to be better than peat when you stick it on the top of some toilet paper. It's all toilet paper about at least 3/4 down, if not more than 3/4 down. So yeah, same here. So just to prove to you that I am telling you that. There you go. There's the toilet paper, and you can see toilet paper there. And the charcoal's not very good either. I should have told you about that with the charcoal. Yeah, I know. Initially, it's start, you know. So anyway, I'll keep the experiment running. But so far, coir seems to be better than peat at the moment. But I don't know. As I said, I've been trying this. Oh, bloody bird's been attacking this one. Bugger. Anyway, yeah, I've had this. It will be 3 weeks or 21 days tomorrow. And I don't know, it's almost, I don't know, it almost looks like, you know when you get that, not cat litter, you know the stuff you buy in the boxes for the cat, the dry cat food. It's almost like you put some dry cat food, and it's almost looking and reacting the same way as dry cat food goes when you wet it down and put it in a pot sort of thing. Yes, I have done this in the past. Tempting me to retry those experiments again, I don't know, but so far no germination at the moment, but we'll keep trying. You know, bugger, yeah, I think bird has been pecking at things. Hopefully I haven't pecked any bloody seedlings out, but I can't see any at the moment. But it's quite hot today. It's about 32 degrees plus Celsius, and yeah, so we'll see. Anyway, tomorrow should be the day when we start looking really intensely for germination. And I'll put some seeds down here and start the 21-day clock on this and see what happens. You never know. We might get a surprise out of this. And I'll set up another one probably tomorrow or the next day, putting some of our peat down there sort of thing. So, yeah, I don't know. I just thought, crazy experiment. But I thought before I go to do the full 10-litre, 2-gallon bucket sort of thing, I thought I'd give this a go and see what happens. You know, we might get a better response than that. But so far, I'm not impressed by rainwater and peat. They're two brands. So yeah, they look very similar. You could just about tell them apart when they were fresh. So this one had a few more darker brown bits than this one sort of thing. So that's the Tunga, and this is the Debco one. So but now it's still hard to tell them apart, and I think the birds have suddenly discovered them. It's taken them almost 3 weeks to discover them. Maybe they know something I don't, but there is a little bit of greening in here, which I don't know. Does that mean this has got nutrients in it? I don't know. You know, has it got a bit of fertiliser in it? Anyway, not too impressed at the moment with peat and rainwater. And everyone says, you know, you have to use peat to germinate the seeds, but so far nothing. But anyway, we'll keep going. But then again, I'll give this one a go, and I'll set up a peat similar sort of experiment and see what happens. You never know, we might get a surprise. You know, we might find we only get germination in the ring or something like that, not in the centre, not on the outside, somewhere on the ring, and that will tell us a hell of a lot. You probably have to have a combination of components and fungi, I suppose. The two suites or sets of common, everyday, natural fungi. The brown rot fungi and the white rot fungi. You might want to look them up. You probably, if you've heard this for the first time, like I heard it for the first time, 25 years ago, I think I heard it for the first time. It almost almost came to me like it was a joke. What? You having me on or something? Started reading a few books, but you know, yeah, two major groups of fungi out there in the real world. And you think they would talk about them more often, wouldn't you? But no. Anyway, that's about now. I'll set it up tonight with some seed, because I always like to plant seeds and look at my plants at night time under torchlight, as you do. And we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'll give you a close-up on some cyanophyta. Blue-green algae, as they say. Yeah, it's not very blue, is it? No, anyway. Over and out. See ya.